learn from all the mistakes. Bitch, I swear from all of these gangs. They just slurp and call it a day. I've been serving, police searching, got that work up all in your place. Scared to go to church and y'all to go pray. What's the point of being nervous if you got faith? This not a courtroom and I'm not judging. Stable and firm, bitch, I'm not budging. Try to do numbers and wrap my budget. I run the game, got 90 billions. I'm not frontin', I'm not crying, but I'm the one who supply the onions. Yeah, I be flying, which is the pilot, and I'ma be here till I'm 90 something. Where my heat at? Cause I know what you said, but you don't mean that. You make me pull up the love like where you sleep at. When you deep in the streets, nigga, it's like that for real. Where the fiends at? I'm about to pull up the love because they need that. If you wanna find me, you gonna need that. When you deep in the streets, nigga, it's like that for real. It's like that. Nigga, I'm afraid to fly back. I promise anything that I need, I got it. Anything you seen on the G, I bought it. If
going down, y'all.
I rock it. I ain't got
By the gas station.
Well,
look, check this out. We got the lovers card going on today, so I told y'all. Damn, it's throwing down out this motherfucker. Hold on, let me make sure I got my eyes on the goddamn road. But look, check this out. What's up, motherfucker D-Style, Tiana Jennifer, Aaron, this motherfucker, he comment on this motherfucker. I might said your name wrong. T-Teeks. T-Teeks. E-Cheeks. Name Cheeks. Alright, now let's check this out. Look, we dealing with the lovers card today in this motherfucker. Go ahead. We dealing with the lovers card today in this motherfucker. Today is number 6. If you want to do the numerology today and shit like that. So for the most part, behind the scenes, or you may see a lot of politicians today utilize that theme. So when we talk about the lovers, about 2,000 years ago, back in the old government and shit like that, they called it the churches and shit, but they was really running the world. See, it was a particular woman that was in power, right? And it was a guy that was in power, but they started creating a whole bunch of adultery type energy. So the lovers card was a real popular card during the Clinton time. His presidency was ran on the lovers card. That's why we got concepts of like Monica Lewinsky and shit like that. Like that whole Clinton regime, that shit was ran on the tarot card shit. The Trump, the lovers card. It's all some tarot card shit though, because the people in government, they do their own astrology. It's the Kabbalah shit, right? So what their astrology is, when they started their shit was a little bit 2,000 years ago, and then getting into like the first tactics of how we create government and shit like that. But it's beyond 2,000 years. It's just 2,000 years ago, you got a group of motherfuckers who stole some shit from Eastern, and then they try to Westernize it, aka here's where we get the concept of government and things of that nature. But then during this time, it's the early church, and then once it start to lead into the late hundreds and shit like that, then that's when we start getting presidents and shit like that. So I need you to understand the concept, their concept. So you know what astrology you're using. So when you start to peep game, you can look at it and be like, oh, okay, that's what these motherfuckers doing right now. And it never failed, because these motherfuckers is big ass kids. It never failed. These motherfuckers is big ass kids. So Trump, I think his shit is like ran under the emperor shit. Based upon all the bullshit that they doing right now. But look, check this out. I want to break down the lovers card, because today is just specifically the lovers card by itself. So what they're going to be basically doing is utilizing the alignment between Sun and Saturn. So anytime we have a lovers card, so let me get back into the story real quick. All right, now 2,000 years ago, and during this time, so this is how they keep track of it. It was a woman in power during these church times, the government times, and there was a male in power. Now, based upon how they was creating their king or pharaoh shit back then, it wasn't necessarily built on sex. Like you could have a king and queen type of scenario and not even be sexually involved with them. Like they might not even be in your same location. The male might get sanctioned with his family based upon his bloodline, and then they have to pick a woman, and based upon what her males and her family, what they had did as far as the churches and the government and shit like that, that's how they pick who's gonna be for the bloodline and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes they go through generations where they can't find that, so they go into incest, where they'll fuck a family member just to keep it in the family, just to keep the same blood. They don't always do that, but the only time that they do that is when they can't match someone. It's not a match from another source, and then they don't want to suffer ushering in a new bloodline, especially if they already keeping this on track or from a spiritual or religious nature. They very particular about that. And ushering in the wrong bloodline to help sustain your government or something like that is like, they used to look at this like crimes. They chop off motherfuckers' heads. You can't even be part of a bloodline and then go try to go fuck out of wedlock and all that kind of shit during these times. Like, they was going deep. So when they did get some motherfuckers in power and shit like that, right? When it comes into the Lover's card, right? The people who was in power, they fell from grace. They fell from their power. The male that they put together and the female that they put together. I don't know no specifics names yet because I ain't in front of no computer or nothing like that. I'm driving, but I'm just giving y'all the narrative because it doesn't really matter what actual person. What matters is the theme. And once you understand the theme, okay, to keep their system going, they have to make sure these themes play out. And anytime we have somebody new trying to change up a theme, you get your ass killed. Now, JFK was the only motherfucker came that tried to switch a theme, and he got his monkey ass killed. They're not going to do that again. What they're going to do is utilize that kind of tactic as a theme. So when you see Trump is playing a theme, right? So when you get into the tarot cards and start to look at the themes, that's like the theme. For an example, you know how the Clintons, his was the Lover's card. His whole little orchestration was ran by the Lover's card. Bush whole administration, after Clinton, Bush whole administration was ran by the Hangman card. So 9/11 and all that shit is like based upon a theme. You see what I'm saying? And the theme was Hangman. So whatever theology and Bush and them was kicking out was helping out that theme, and it was going to help St. Paul or the Pope or somebody, or Pope Francis, not Pope Francis, Jesuit ass, but you know, whoever was in position that was running the whole world under their vision, based upon the thoughts and feelings that they could equalize, right? That's the person who got sanctified. So Bush family straight for life. They straight for life because they just puppets, but they did what they were supposed to do as puppets. So they don't got to worry about no money. Like this is the concept. You see what I'm saying? So they might not know as far as what they was truly doing, but they got a little increment of what they was doing otherwise because they know they was in a position of power. So they just think they're doing because God's given grace or some shit like that based upon their religious leaders are the motherfuckers who's actually getting sanctified. So when we start to talk about the Lover's card right now, right? This is what they're doing today. Back 2,000 years ago, this is how they stamped it and called it the Lover's card. They went through like a hellistic transit when the sun was in Aries and Saturn was in Libra about 2,000 years ago. And the woman that was in power and the motherfucking man that was in power, the events that happened to them, how they got killed or how they lost power, they stamped that alignment as the Lover's card. This what happens when people in power start to practice adultery or you get into power with someone you love, but power overtake you and you start cheating and you start doing other shit and this leads to your destruction. So that's like the whole theme. So they do this, they've been doing this every year to now, right? So for the most part, in every election season to now. So the story may be a little different because it's different characters playing the movie, but it's the same fucking movie. AKA, I don't give a fuck how many Tyler Perry movies you watch. You know it's a goddamn Tyler Perry movie. I don't care about how many scary movies you watch. You know it's a goddamn scary movie. So it might have been Poltergeist, it might have been Halloween 13, but at the end of the day, what was the theme? It's a horror flick. So now you're getting the concept of how these motherfuckers be running the world and shit. Now, based upon the Lover's card in this motherfucker, whatever happened back then, they need to make sure they keep control of that so they can control the events. So whatever bloodline is in power, they make sure it don't go that catastrophic, and they make sure they harness the energy and then use it for the world to equalize it in some way, shape, or form. So just to run that down as the narrative of the story, today we are experiencing a mini version of that. We got the motherfucking sun in Cancer, and we got Saturn in early Aquarius. So since today, the specific date, just for today, not the whole season, right, is the Lover's card, then that's how they utilize the energy of the tactic on just what they're going to do for today and this week and shit like that. So they're going to utilize tactics to make us confused about love, make us confused about what we should be paying attention to, make us confused about it, and then they're going to do it via new age computer and shit like that. 1 second, y'all. I'm about to make this move real quick. Just give me 2 seconds, y'all. I'm about to be right back. Alright, back, y'all. Yeah, so getting to the motherfucker, like I said, today is the motherfucking number 6. So when we start to talk about 6 in the numerology of 6, right? This helps us understand the blending between the 7th, 8th, and 9th dimension. Oh shit. The 7th, 8th, and 9th dimension, which is the world of birth. When we experience birth, when we travel there as spirits. So when you travel through the Garden of Eden or 7th, 8th, and 9th dimension as a spirit, that's you surfing new ideas and new feelings. So a lot of times it's vague. But when you are like a spirit that cling on to familiarity all the time, you might not like the 7th, 8th, and 9th dimension. It might look chaotic because that's Lilith up there. You know what I'm saying? Lilith and the first Adam is up there, which I hate to call it Adam, Atum, and all that shit, because for the most part, that's almost like a seed planted in our head. But really, it's just a thought. But if you're looking at it from an Adam perspective, then you have to dive into a fake-ass scientific prospect that they put on it. But that's besides the fact. So a lot of times, that's like new experiences. As a spirit, you're forced there to come up with your own idea and your own Lilith, your own feeling. But a lot of us, reason why we so far in this dimension is because we clinged on to a desire. And a lot of these desires was from the body that our parents was in as spirits. So for the most part, it's like we're all playing follow the leader, and we all led ourselves to the sunken place in some way, shape, or form down in this motherfucker. So when we want to talk to our higher self, a lot of us is being possessed and shit like that. Because you can't even come to a person and be like, look, you talking to your higher self. They be like, oh no, God told me this. All right then, you know what I'm saying? Or if you don't think that's yourself up there, all right. You know what I'm saying? Now, when I say this, heavy religious people will be like, well, who is God or whatever then, like that. So you're missing the whole point. Take that out of your mind and understand this. There is spirits that been in bodies before you. So there is a concept of motherfucking spirits that's outside of you. You know what I'm saying? It's just, here's the thing. When y'all start to call these motherfuckers gods and shit like that, you use a name and it's back to supported by a feeling. So you push out a frequency that's back to supported by a vibration. Since you are a spirit that's in the 3rd dimension, to them, it looked like a piece of light that remind them of a life that they once lived. So the more you give that power to them, they use it to try to experience shit that feels familiar. Because they probably stuck in purgatory or some shit like that. So you give them a sense of familiarity, and then you just awaken a spirit that probably was 2,000 years ago or 4,000 years ago wasn't nothing but an egotistical, narcissist ass motherfucker when they was in a body. That's the reason they dead and don't realize they dead now. Because they probably created so many ideas and chakras before they died. Motherfuckers died and went to their own heaven and hell and shit like that and stuck in purgatory somewhere. So a lot of times when you let go gods and ancestors, you actually free spirits. You actually let them feel like they're not responsible. They could go experience something else. Otherwise, we all playing follow the leader into a cycle, and that water cycle is just in the third dimension area. Get that shit the fuck out of here. But like I'm saying though, the Lover's card right now, they're gonna be utilizing the Lover's card on us. So for the most part, today they're gonna do specific shit with the Sun and Saturn, right? They can't do it to the maximum potential due to the fact that the Sun ain't in Aries and Saturn ain't in with Saturn at home though, you know what I'm saying? So they can utilize the maximum potential of Saturn, but not maximum. Maximum is exaltation. So when a planet is exalted, aka when we're facing it and it look like it's at the highest on top of us, that's the highest ideal. We'll come up metaphysically with an idea to say, okay, that's the highest idea of something. Before we get lost into ascension and descension and shit. It's just when we're facing it in a specific way based upon our routine and our pattern. So for the most part, when the planet is exalted, that's when exaltation down here or being sanctified down here is most prominent. We're not really dealing with no powerful exaltation energies right now. So for the most part, they can only do it to like little tactics, little reverse psychology to lead up to certain shit. So when we talk about the Lover's card right now, we might see people like Trump or Dr. Fauci or somebody like that utilize their actions to make us misunderstand what we're supposed to be seeing reality, right? So keep that in mind. They probably already doing that because, you know, Trump rallies, you know, Trump, he's being used for the second coming of Christ. So for the most part, that's for everybody who's not dumb, deaf, blind, sheep, and weak. He's part of the plan also. It's a whole world theme that they got going. Remember this little saying that I be telling y'all that if a little spirit in heaven told you that God said you got to wear a mask in heaven and y'all believe it, then y'all dumb, deaf, blind, sheep, and weak like everybody else. Okay, Trump is supposed to play the Messiah that come and show you that you dumb, deaf, blind, and weak. Oh shit, we're freezing for a minute. So he's like the even though he's Republican, he's the blue side of the bird wing. It's one bird, but it's two wings. He's the blue side of the wing, aka lighter in frequency. Use logic. Now the Democratic Party, they're the red side of the wing, even though because everything is in reverse. Down here they're blue. On the esoteric level, they're the red side of the wing. So they represent the old government, aka everybody's listening to things of that nature. But both of these is the same government. It's one government trying to create an equilibrium system. Because they understand that we live in a world full of people who got different ideas and views. So we could get a real charismatic ass Jesuit, a group of these motherfuckers with a whole bunch of reverse psychology skills and shit like that, then boom, they can keep their shit going. But this is what they've been doing. You know what I'm saying? So don't get it fucked up. This is what these motherfuckers been doing. So for the most part, oh shit. So for the most part, when we start to talk about the lovers, they're going to be utilizing the sun, aka the sun is all of our Christ, all of our actions, how we see and how we view things. You have a Christ, I have a Christ, everybody have a Christ. Make sure you come up with your own name for your son of God. You the God and you got sons and daughters. You come up with these names for your creations. You see what I'm saying? Otherwise, you might be clinging on to a name that's controlled by someone else's frequency vibration. And now you got all this trial and tribulation in your life. And you like, this ain't for me. Why is I'm doing this? It might got something to do with your motherfucking name. You see what I'm saying? Real shit. That's why it's important to know what the fuck frequencies you riding and to know where the fuck that shit came from and shit. But they're going to be utilizing Saturn, right? I mean, they're going to be utilizing the sun, which is actions. Someone's actions and viewpoints to kind of give you an illusion about reality. Because like I said, the sun is in Cancer. The Saturn is in early Aquarius. The sun is in early Cancer. So that's an in conjunction. In conjunction create illusions because you just missed the point. You just missed the mark. You didn't hit the point. So when you miss the point, that's a sin because you were supposed to hit something directly like a light. But when you thought you was reaching that point, but you actually was off a little bit, you didn't see everything in it, that's like a sin. So you start to prejudge and things of that nature. Now they're utilizing this energy against y'all to bring it to an equilibrium. So for the most part, they're going to be utilizing one's actions in the political party to make you confused about reality because it's an in conjunction, aka make you have a misunderstanding about what's going on in reality right now. So for the most part, be aware that all the like Trump rallies and shit like that didn't have masks or whatever like that. So today is a perfect day for them to upload videos on the internet to have somebody else in the politics make you feel like that didn't make sense in some way, shape, or form. Hold on. But yeah, you know what I'm saying?
All right, I'll be with you in 1 moment.
All right. So they put you in that kind of situation where, hold on 1 second, y'all. They got me on hold real quick. But for the most part, this is what you need to understand. The misunderstanding is going to come from the alignment with the in conjunction. Thank you. I would like to order a large pineapple freeze, and that'll be all.
Large pineapple freeze. Did you want the vanilla cream in it?
Yeah.
Alright, this is going to be $3.42 at the second order.
All right, thank you. But yeah, so they're going to utilize this misunderstanding to their advantage. So look, I told you the whole thing is orchestrated for Trump to win again. So I mean, because y'all votes don't matter. Is Trump gonna win anyway? They just got to set the scenario up for it to make sense for the people who don't believe and the people who do believe. You know what I'm saying? For the people who don't vote for Trump, they're gonna make it seem like, shout the lady go hard as motherfucker. Yeah, they do go hard as motherfucker. You better believe it. So for the most part, they look at this as a better way for even people who don't believe in QAnon and all that motherfucking shit. They like, oh shit, they're gonna have a reverse psychology to make everybody get rocked to sleep. You know what I'm saying? That's why they setting everything up now, telling you that motherfucking Trump is motherfucking down on votes or some goddamn shit, some bullshit or whatever like that. But you need to know all of this is catering towards him. So for the most part, based upon us seeing Trump's rallies and shit like that, right? Now they gotta change, they gotta confuse us about reality in some type of way. So they're gonna utilize a politician with their views, and depending on how much this politician influence others, that's the one that they're going to use to put on camera time for this world stage. And then they're going to use that person to motherfucking spew their views. Now here's the thing, their views got to be a big influence. So think about how they made y'all respect people views, credentials, schooling, how long somebody went to school, what they have done. So I wouldn't be surprised if it ain't Dr. Fauci or somebody like that, but it might not be, because I ain't seen him in a while.
321.
So, for the most, hold on 1 second, y'all.
$16.58.
Alright.
There you go.
Alright.
Good one.
You too.
Thank you.
I'm hungry, y'all. Got my freezy. Alright, but let's check this out, right? Now, as far as motherfucking now, this is what they're gonna do. They're gonna confuse you with someone who got credentials. And we don't have to respect credentials, but since they run the world, they make us think what we supposed to respect. So for the most part, you went to school, you know what I'm saying? You didn't learn some curriculum, you didn't got some health type shit. Boom. That's going to be the face of the politicians that they present to spew their views. And their views is going to totally disregard reality, aka what we just seen in reality from what Trump just organized as far as his rallies, right? And all of that is just a game. It's like a whole lead up and shit like that for the people who don't believe in it and the people who do believe in it, for both sides, just so they can bring an equilibrium. So when Trump do become motherfucking president again, then you might stop hearing about COVID-19 until they need you to take this motherfucking vaccine or this motherfucking this computer stamp, aka getting everybody on this new welfare system. So they already doing it. Like your kids might not even be going to school no more. You know what I'm saying? Because like I just got a whole new motherfucking welfare looking dumbass card for my child or whatever like that. And for the most part, the face on there or whatever like that, what it's actually showing you is that all the lunches and shit like that kids was getting is all going towards that. So don't be surprised if you get something in the mail or something like that saying that your kid gotta have this specific laptop for the next year of the school and shit like that. And a lot of people was counting on that as far as you know, because I know I was. Shit, nigga, school, I mean, I understand all y'all be like, homeschool, you supposed to homeschool and all that. Listen, I be having a lot to do. School sometimes is motherfucking daycare. School sometimes is daycare. School sometimes is lunch and breakfast. Yeah, motherfucker, look, check this out. We need help out here as young parents. Ah! Real shit. How y'all gonna take that away from us? Motherfucker. Shit. But at the same time though, you know what I'm saying? They getting us prepared to get on this new computerized system. So this new computerized welfare system shit, Trump ain't stopping that shit. Trump ain't stopping those Zionist Jews things. Like, y'all gotta peep game. Like, y'all might get lost into like the swamp and the deep state. But when you look at the swamp and the deep state, man, that's the least of our issues right now. Man, go take care of something real. Go take care of something real. That's how you know Chaz and Chop. Chaz and Chop is motherfucking paid by the government. And it's paid by the Republican Party. So keep that in mind also. But look, check this out. Today the motherfucking moon is in Leo. I almost forgot. The motherfucking moon is in Leo. So look, check this out. It's squaring Uranus. It's squaring Uranus and Saturn. So we in a motherfucking circumstance right now where how we react and respond to things, we're going to be reacting. We need to learn how to react and respond more with our individuality. And we also need to learn how to react and respond towards reality more. So we could get rocked to sleep right now based upon how they trying to rock us to sleep in reality if we're not seeing things clearly. You see what I'm saying? Because they know the alignments just like we do. They know this monkey shit just like we do. It's just they got a system that they've been doing. We get into this shit thinking everything all fun and fine and learning about ourselves. Man, they doing this shit for manifesting and controlling the motherfucking world and shit like that. And they got other kind of secrets and tactics and all kind of motherfucking shit. That's crazy. Shit that's only in certain books and shit like that. And it might not even be in books. It's based on oral tradition. I don't know why it got dark. So with the motherfucking moon being in Leo, right? We're all going to be reacting and responding to our self-awareness, our self-appearance, our expression, how we have fun and enjoy ourselves, with our stubbornness and our consistency. Hold on, let me tap this on. Why they lighten up, motherfucker? Do it look dark to y'all? I don't know why it's dark to me. But yeah, we're going to be reacting and responding to how we feel. But a lot of times how we feel may be stubborn, and other times it may be consistent. But if we could kind of create the image for ourselves, we could set the stage or set the tone for how we want to be seen, whether motherfuckers like it or not. So that's kind of like Leo energy in a nutshell. Now, if you are a sun, moon, or ascendant Taurus, Aquarius, or Taurus, Aquarius, or Scorpio, you might have a hard time during this period of time. Because we're all being forced to react and respond and express ourselves. That's not a comfortable place for a Scorpio. And then for a motherfucking Taurus, a Taurus may not feel like that makes sense. That's not practical. I bet not express nothing unless I got something to show for it. And then when a motherfucking, and then when you want to get into a goddamn Aquarius, to Aquarius, that's not logical because that look like an attention-seeking person. Every time somebody trying to express the way they feel about something, that look like an attention-seeking person. That's how Aquarius look at it. But y'all need to be in that bag. So that's why it might be a little bit more frustrating because the energy that you feel like you need to do today is slightly going to make you feel uncomfortable because that ain't your natural energy. Your natural energy to look at that is in that fashion, how I just spoke about it. Scorpio, like, goddamn it, I ain't about to express how I feel to show everybody's my hand. Show everybody my hand. I might do certain things so I can see other people's hand. If they dumb enough and they got enough fire or air in their chart that they dumb enough to see, they don't see what's going on behind closed doors. So, you know, a Scorpio like to play that role, behind the scene. A Taurus is more practical. So a Taurus may express how they feel, but it ain't about to be about feelings. It's about to be about something that makes sense. Otherwise, if we about to just sit here and break down our feelings, hey, this is a waste of time. This don't make no sense. You'll get the driest, hardest, dry face Taurus in your life in your face. You'll be like, you'll start to wonder, is they even listening to you? They probably ain't. You're real shit. But y'all all gotta kind of jump in that motherfucking bag low-key right now and express yourself a little bit, or you might get taken advantage of. So you might have to put yourself in a slightly uncomfortable place being an Aquarius, Taurus, and Aquarius, Taurus, and a Scorpio during this period of time. And also when we got the moon, we got the another New York light place. That's all I've been seeing, New York license plates. Why y'all coming here? Y'all stay in New York. I'm trying to come to y'all. But look, check this out. But yeah, the motherfucker with the moon right now, the way we express ourselves, it's gonna look individualistic but we need to learn how to make sure that we're expressing our own individualistic energy. Because for the most part, the way the world is going right now, they're controlling these energies. And if they know that the moon is squaring motherfucker Uranus, then they're gonna make us react and respond with some type of change, rebellion, and opposition towards something. And that change, rebellion, and opposition is gonna be some shit that they want us to go against. Man, fuck all that goddamn shit. I'm gonna react and respond to my own individuality. You know what I'm saying? And the time I could be taking for my shit will be way more beneficial for me than the time that they have forced me to take to research their shit and QAnon and Antifa and try to figure out some dumbass limited hangout shit on why they hate Trump when they love Trump. Because if you really do the research on everybody who run the actual banks right now, they all Republicans. Where my lighter go? They all Republicans. So keep that in mind also. Don't ever get rocked to sleep thinking they making y'all think it's a shadow government that's in the Democratic Party that got a lot of fucking power. But when you think about power and the banks and the goddamn shit, it's a fucking Jewish Zionist that's running that Trump then put in there and shit like that. So it make you think like, what is they talking about? If the people that they pointing at talking about the shadow government and shit like that, they have to go through these same systems just as well as the Republican Party. So how is we giving them power where the motherfuckers that in the banking and shit, they for Trump? So then you got to start to think like, okay, you got to start to question QAnon. Because QAnon making it seem like it's some Democratic Republican shit. Where the Zionists and shit like that, they're not Democrats or Republicans. They both sides. They be having like federalist type of ideologies. So it's almost like, it kind of make you think like, this is some fucking bullshit from the pit of fucking hell, right? And then you got motherfucking Saturn. Pardon me, you got Saturn in early Aquarius. So for the most part, here's the thing, right? Reacting and responding to reality is going to be misunderstood. Reality is up in the air right now. Keyword, no pun intended. It's in Aquarius. Saturn is reality, and it's in Aquarius. Reality is up in the air. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, here's the thing. We're reacting and respond. We're trying to react and respond to reality, and reality is not on the ground. So we don't even really know what to react and respond to right now. So we really can't blame ourselves or nobody. Because it was going to be like this inevitable though. See, but they know this. So they're trying to keep control of it. But once we go through certain alignments that everything is a destruction, they ain't going to have no choice but to show their motherfucking hand. You see what I'm saying? That's why you got to start playing on these motherfuckers. That's like you being in a relationship with someone, right? And they cheating. But they cheating so much that you believe them though. You believe that they're not cheating. Eventually this person is going to start to show themselves to make you realize that they're cheating. It's just, look, spirits don't care about logic, numbers, names, like titles, none of that. The spirit is just a spirit that wants to experience a catastrophic moment. And once something gets too comfortable, a spirit will create a catastrophic moment on itself. Like, it's just the spirits, that's just what spirits do. That's like, for an example, if say you're around somebody who's constantly lying to you, right? But you're constantly letting them know that you know that they're lying. It's going to build more resistance. It's going to build more of trying to lie, more of trying to get over till you get real good at it. Say you're around a spirit that's lying, but you believe all they lies and shit like that. Slowly but surely, that spirit is going to show you that they've been lying to you. They're going to do something. They're going to be like, hold on, this spirit ain't that dumb or whatever like that. It's just psychology with a spirit. Spirits tell on themselves. Spirits love to go through death. And when I say death, y'all manifested the physical representation of death. But death is just really separating yourself from something you didn't get comfortable in and going into a new place. That's almost like the North and the South Node energy. Correlating with the moon. Let me turn. Because here's the thing, right? With the moon, we're just talking about the nodes. So where the moon haven't been yet, North Node. Where the moon have already been, South Node. Now, if the moon is memory, things you can attach to, things you can be like, all right, I'm familiar with this, or I have already went through that. That was already on North Node before, right? That's what all the moon is carrying. So that's familiarity, comfortability, and things of that nature. But when things get too comfortable, like I said, a spirit gonna create its own scenario to get the fuck out of that circumstance. Because If you too stuck into a routine and pattern, that becomes hell. And then you don't know your capabilities, you don't know your incapabilities, you don't know what you can do and what you can't do, you don't know your position here, you don't know your space here, and then you need other people who have been in positions that you probably look in respect to, right? And if they're carrying an energy of comfortability, then you will drain them if you become a vampire, or if you just want to receive their energies and things of that nature, aka for you to do what you do, you want to ask for advice or some shit of what they have done because they look like they're in a comfortable place, then you attack somebody else's South Node energy. But really, psychology is just you being too scared to separate yourself from South Node type energy. So when things start to get too scary and unfamiliar, you need to be around somebody else who's in that familiar energy with themselves, just so you can feel familiar or feel like you know what you're doing. And a lot of times that end up being the blind leading the blind too. See, everybody got their own path. Everybody messiahs. Everybody is Christ. Everybody's supposed to be some type of superhero or superheroine. But we get lost. And then when it comes, we lose our individuality based upon what have already been set here from other spirits who did that work already. And then we start to call them gods or governments or lords or some shit like that. But really, that's all what it is, a title. All spirits have capabilities to do what every other spirit does. So you need to understand, once you understand that, you won't be running around in this world with any lacking energy of you feeling like you ain't capable of doing shit. It's just, the trick is, find what you capable of doing. People cling on to too much of what capabilities is in general, to the point that people go on Google and then they think those the only attributes. And that ain't got shit to do with nothing. You could be the person that brings something new into the world and then force Google to come up with a definition for what the fuck that is. You see what I'm saying? So also, the North Node represents unfamiliarity, uncomfortability, you know what I'm saying? And being unsure. So keep that in mind also. So spirits be scared of the North Node, because ain't no Adam and Eve there yet. Ain't no chakras there yet. Ain't no lights. Ain't no directions there yet. Ain't no sense of comfortability there yet. So you in a situation where it's like, oh, I'm on my own? What the fuck is this? And that's when the spirit test is there. That's when your spirit get tested. Okay, what you gonna do? What Adam you gonna create? What universe you gonna create? What Eve you gonna create? And the moment spirits run and go back to a familiar space, they don't learn their own capabilities. They end up feeling comfortable by looking at someone else's capabilities. And then that's where you end up not being your own Messiah. We all here. You need to understand that. But you gotta go through that space. You gotta go through that narrow space. I'm about to run into the store real quick, y'all. But and matter of fact, I'm about to go to the flight cave. So everybody, motherfucker who order readings, I'm about to get to the Cash App readings and shit like that, so I can be clear up to get into my actual emails. I know a lot of y'all been emailing me for readings and shit too. So I'm gonna make sure I ain't miss nobody or people who already ordered through the emails too. But I gotta get these 2 people left on the Cash App too. So I'm about to run to the store. Let me go ahead and do this shit real quick, y'all. And then shit, yeah, we gonna ride out. I'm gonna save this motherfucking stream, but I love y'all subconscious community. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to Enter, Artsy Mommy, Xavier EX, the Huey Hums of this motherfucking shout out. Yeah, I need another track. Lady Go Hard, this motherfucker, you better believe it. I'm in range, Bird. Zone around Stitch. Got that. Yeah, let's go ahead and ride out so I can go ahead and get to this motherfucking flight cave. I love y'all in this motherfucking we out. Air flight bus, bitch, you know, for sure.